How do you remember 1960? Years from now, when you tell your children about this year we've been living through, what scenes will spring to your mind?
4 college freshmen, all Negroes, were refused service at a Greensboro, North Carolina lunch counter, and the civil rights sit-in was born.
And there he is, President-elect Barack Obama.
Today, Barack Obama is the 44th President of the United States of America and is the first African American to hold office.
In March 1960, the United States announces that 3,500 American soldiers will be sent to Vietnam. The war cost more than 58,000 American lives. Today, U.S. combat operations in Iraq are officially over. But the war in Afghanistan, launched in response to the September 11th attacks, is entering its 9th year.
This is the airplane whose cryptic name became the name of crisis and collapse at the very summit of world affairs.
April 1st, 1960. The Cold War got a little chillier. In May, a Soviet missile shot down U.S. Air Force pilot Francis Gary Powers and his U-2 spy plane. Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev put the wreckage on display and demanded an apology. Today, the Cold War is over and the Soviet Union no longer exists.
In 1960, the U.S. population was just over 180 million people. Today, it is more than 300 million.
In 1960, the Dow Jones Industrials averaged 650 points. Today, the big board is hovering around 10,000.
In 1960, the national debt was $286 billion. Today, in 2010, it's more than $13 trillion and counting. That's more than $46,000 per person. Thanks a lot.
Did you know that raising a child is now 22% more expensive today than in 1960? The Agriculture Department says raising a kid from birth to age 17 costs $222,000, not including college tuition. Still, I think that's a great investment.
The price for an ounce of gold cost $37 in 1960. Today, it costs over $1,000.
In 1960, gas cost 32 cents a gallon. Today, it costs about $3 a gallon. Considering 50 years of inflation, that's not too bad.
A first-class stamp cost 4 cents in 1960. Today, it costs 44 cents. And you don't lick them, you stick them.
In 1960, a Chevrolet Impala with jet smooth lines would cost you $2,500. It was the best-selling car in America. Today, in 2010, the Impala will set you back $26,000, and it's hardly popular.
In 1960, NASA sent up Echo 1, the world's first communications satellite. Today, satellites guide us home or anywhere we want to go.
In 1960, AT&T introduces the data phone and the first known modem, and a new machine from Xerox goes on sale, making the company's name synonymous with copy.
In 1960, a loaf of bread cost about 20 cents. Today, a loaf of bread cost about $2.80.
In 1960, if you wanted to call home, you used a payphone at a telephone booth, which were found everywhere.
What's a payphone? In bookstores, Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird was a bestseller. On television, the Andy Griffith Show debuted. So did the Flintstones, along with it, a new word for excitement. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Ben-Hur was the biggest hit at the box office. It would win a record 11 Oscars.
The candidates need no introduction.
September 26, 1960. The first debate for a presidential election was televised. Vice President Richard Nixon seemed nervous, but Senator John F. Kennedy stood tall.
At home, an estimated 80 million Americans watched all on their black and white TVs.
In October, the World Series was played between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Yankees.
Game. The Bucks hadn't gone all the way in 35 years until now. A man named Bill Mazeroski becoming one of the heroes of 1960. You can remember this event by the numbers.
November 4th, 1960. A then record 67 million voters go to the polls to elect the next president. In a close contest, 43-year-old John F. Kennedy would become the youngest elected president.
To all Americans, I say that the next 4 years are going to be difficult and challenging years for us all. The election may have been a close one, but I think that there is general agreement by all of our citizens that a supreme national effort will be needed in the years ahead to move this country safely through the 1960s. I ask your help in this effort, and I can assure you that every degree of mind and spirit that I possess will be devoted to the long-range interests of the United States and to the cause of freedom around the world. So now my wife and I prepare for a new administration and for a new baby. Thank you.
Later that month, as the New Yorker's Thanksgiving edition hit magazine stands, was the biggest event of all. On November 26th, at the Army Hospital at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, our mom, Mary Louise Weber, was born. And the rest, as they say, is history.